Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban begins with Harry spending yet another miserable summer with his wicked aunt and uncle. After accidentally inflating his wicked Aunt Marge for talking heavy smack about his parents, Harry furiously runs away from home and finds himself in a magic wizard night bus thingy, which takes him to Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic. And instead of being punished for using magic outside of school, Harry is mysteriously pardoned and taken to the Leaky Cauldron to await his return to Hogwarts. Harry learns that a dangerous prisoner, Sirius Black, has escaped from the wizarding prison Azkaban, and he appears to be coming after Harry. As Harry returns to Hogwarts, the atmosphere is tense. Dementors, terrifying soul-sucking creatures who guard Azkaban, are stationed around the school for protection, but their presence deeply affects Harry, causing him to relive the trauma of his parents' death whenever they come near. Throughout the year, Harry, Ron, and Hermione uncover the truth about Sirius Black. Harry initially believes Sirius betrayed his parents to Voldemort, leading to their death, but in a major twist, Harry learns that Sirius was actually his parents' loyal friend, and that the real traitor is Peter Pettigrew, another member of their close circle who has been hiding in plain sight for years. With the help of Hermione's time device thingy, they manage to rescue both Sirius and a hippogriff named Buckbeak, and by the end of the film, Harry had not only cleared Sirius's name, but also gained a deeper understanding of his parents' past and found a new sense of family in Sirius. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban represented a crucial turning point for the Harry Potter franchise, both in terms of its production and its narrative tone. After the massive success of the first two films, Chris Columbus, the director of Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, chose to step down, citing exhaustion from overseeing the production of two back-to-back films.
I thought at the time I'm going to do all 7 movies. Little did I know that I would be exhausted after 2.
The pressure to deliver another hit was immense, but Columbus had accomplished his goal. He'd laid the foundation for the Harry Potter world. However, the series needed a fresh perspective to continue its growth, and this came in the form of Alfonso Cuarón, a director known for his previous work on films like A Little Princess.
What was the best piece of advice that Chris Columbus gave you?
The best piece of advice is it was be ready for a very long process. Just manage your energy.
Yeah.
And he was so right about that.
The decision to appoint Alfonso as the new director of the rapidly growing franchise raised a few eyebrows, as he was an acclaimed yet unconventional choice for a series aimed at a broad family audience, yet his vision would forever change the series. He infused The Prisoner of Azkaban with a deeper emotional and thematic complexity, marking a shift from the more family-friendly tone of the first two films to a grittier, more mature atmosphere. Visually, the film looked completely different. Where the previous installments had embraced a more colorful and polished aesthetic, Alfonso introduced more sweeping shots and a darker color palette that reflected the growing sense of danger and uncertainty in Harry's world.
What we tried to do is to detect the theme of the film that was about this kid finding his identity as a teenager. And so once that we went into that line, it was very easy to discriminate which of the multiple elements that play in the book, which ones would be relevant for this theme.
One of Alfonso's most notable contributions was his approach to the cast and their performances. He encouraged the young actors to adopt a more natural style of acting, moving away from the more theatrical performances that had characterized the first two films. This shift was essential as the characters themselves were becoming more mature, and the tone of the film demanded more nuanced performances. Alfonso also made a deliberate choice to have the characters wear their robes casually, rather than the formal presentation seen in previous films. This small but significant change helped to ground the characters in a more relatable, less fantastical reality, which better mirrored their transition from childhood to adolescence.
Early on, we said, okay, how would you wear your uniform? And then first they were all tight. I says, yes, but if your parents were not around. And then they start doing weird things with ties or taking the shirts out. Some of the kids stocking everything and trying to be very neat. And I think that comes through in the film.
The production budget for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was a reported $130 million, which was $30 million higher than the previous film, Chamber of Secrets. This investment by Warner Brothers brought back an impressive $797 million globally. Despite the higher investment and its slightly lower box office performance compared to the first two films, The Prisoner of Azkaban was still a major success. And more importantly, the film expanded the series' appeal to older audiences and critics alike. The Prisoner of Azkaban holds a franchise-high 91% critic score, with critics praising its visual style, emotional complexity, and bold direction.
The most important thing was to serve the material. And as Joe Rowling asked me to be faithful to the spirit of the book, not to be literal. So that's a big responsibility.
With its bold new tone established, the next chapter would have to raise the stakes even higher. If you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full breakdown on our main channel, or keep the binge going with the next clip.